Tape marker, action. What's going on, everybody? I'm Ryan D, aka Ryan680, and this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. Special guest from Countdown City Geekcast, the very own.
It's steady. What's going on, guys? I'm back. Finally.
Finally. And ladies and gentlemen, not least, Lex, what's going on, brother?
Hey guys, thank you for having me here once again. Super excited to have Ted over here and then get talking about, one of the shows that every episode there's chatter, right? There's new chatter as far as what's going on.
We're getting closer and closer, guys. I can feel it. But yeah, man, let's talk about this. The episode 3, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, every moviegoer's out there. I mean, this is so. Who else was falling for it? I know. I did a little bit. When they first, I mean, they did in the very first 2 episodes as well. But whenever they showed the Marvel opening, I was all like, I felt like I was watching a Marvel movie. You know, it was weird. It was strange. I was not like, it was real quick. Like 30 minutes, maybe not even that. Like it was a real quick episode. And yeah, I fell for it, man. I was like, dude, this feels like a Marvel movie, and it's just spectacular. It really is. I love that opening. It gives me the goosebumps every single time.
It feels good to see it again after such a long time. No Marvel content really last year at all. So it's good to get it back.
For sure. But yeah, man, let's get right to it, guys. Just this, this episode really it's changing. Obviously it's in color. So we got WandaVision in color. Another thing I'm loving more about these episodes is the openings are very different. I've noticed that every episode is something different. So we see that here, and I'm kind of like, I like that. Are they going to keep that going? I hope they do, because that's something very different. Again, it's very creative, very, different than obviously we've ever seen in any TV show, because it's different opening, just different style, the format, the clips are different, everything's different mode in a sense to where, obviously this feels like Brady Bunch, it has that theme, and I love it, man. I'm digging it. What about you, Ted? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, you get the Brady Bunch vibes. You definitely get the Partridge Family vibes. The music and score is very kind of similar as far as the chord progression goes, and the keys or the notes that they're using. So you get a lot of that. You say a lot of things are different, but there's always one sort of consistent thing, and that's we keep seeing this hexagon shape everywhere we go. And the very first time I saw it, I think it was the stars in the sky, right? So I saw 6 stars. I'm like,
yeah.
It's the Infinity Stones, right? And then it made the shape of a hexagon. I'm like, oh, maybe it's not. Or maybe eventually there's a tie, but I'm not going to claim to know what that tie is to the Infinity Stones. But anytime I see the number 6, I'm immediately going to go to Infinity Stones, but we'll see what happens with that later.
Yeah, man. I just, it's one of those things to where all we can do is really speculate and hey, it's going to be this, that. Lex, what'd you think about that opening, brother? What's your thoughts on it?
I like that it's once again every single opening is keeping it fresh. Every single opening has some sort of callback to a sitcom, right, that we've all seen, or at least that we're familiar with the style. And so I really like it. There's I don't recall a particular moment in this opening, but I just know even just getting a glimpse of their daily lifestyle, through those funny scenes, through those caricatures, or even just I think it was the second episode where they would show Vision at work, and they would have conversations by the water dispenser, water cooler, and he would throw the thing away. So it's little details like that. It's still Vision, Vision. They're trying to hide who they really are, right? So I think even just little details like that are super, super neat. You can tell they've paid attention, and they've kind of quite literally worked on creating this illusion that you're watching a sitcom as opposed to a Marvel standard property, right?
For sure.
So it's a good thing. I like that it's going on theme. I think at one point for sure we'll break away from this reality, but I wonder if they're still going to do something fresh with the intros after the fact, or if it's just during this one specific storyline that we're going to be getting those.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we got a little hint here. Of course, we'll talk about the ending, but we got a little hint here as far as where is this heading towards to? Where is this really? Is it going to be sitcom style all over? I feel like it's going to do a turn of events. Maybe
For sure.
I feel like it's gonna. I feel like the sitcom people are like gonna go away into an episode where we're not gonna know it until the very end. It's gonna be like, oh, there's no more laughter anymore. What the heck's going on? I feel like this really could upscale. And again, I know we talked about it, Lex. Ted, I don't know if you kept up with our reviews on here, but like I've always said it, this is a huge risk that Marvel's taking, but it's a plus right here. I mean, this is a huge risk factor that they're taking here because it's something that they haven't really touched. As far as Marvel Cinematic Universe, they did not have really touched up on something like this ever in the movies or film. And to make this their very first Disney Plus series, I mean, dude, that's a huge confidence booster. That shows so much, that they're really behind this. Kevin Feige and all them, they're really behind this show. And, I could see why, because this show just keeps getting, keeps us interested, entertained, and keeps us getting more and more interested in it. That's kind of strange that we saw Wanda being pregnant. That was pretty quick. and then the sitcom with the doctor, that was pretty funny. Where he's all like, when a man loves a woman. It was just like, I was like, oh dude, that's awesome. I love that. But yeah, I just feel like I feel like one of these episodes is going to shift it all to where like we're going to actually see where deeper emotions, and my buddy Mike told me that it actually does get deeper in the comics, and so I'm waiting for that. Maybe we'll see that in this next episode, or maybe I say probably the last few episodes. We don't know. Have they released how many episodes in the season?
It's supposed to be 9.
9. Okay, so we're on episode 3. I say probably 5 or 6. We're gonna see a shift in things into very deep, emotional, very dark. I feel like we're gonna hit that note, which is something that Marvel hasn't really touched up on as far as like emotional aspect of it, I guess. Besides Endgame, yeah.
These first 3 episodes are really kind of beating us over the head with the mystery and all the question marks, and I love it. It's refreshing. Yeah. Marvel is flexing their muscles right now, doing something different, doing something innovative, and anytime they do that, I'm all for it. I'm all here for it.
Yeah.
Just yesterday, actually, it was revealed in an interview with Elizabeth Olsen that she says there's some huge revelations in this week's episode 4.
Oh, right. Okay.
And she didn't get into any specifics, obviously, but the revelations were valuable enough that she was willing to say this week's episode changes a lot of things. And that's why Marvel would not let anything else out to the press after episode 3, because according to her, episode 4, it's a whole new ballgame.
Yeah, because the critics actually got access to the first 3 episodes. Yeah, I got you. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that does. That really does make sense. Okay.
It's weird. It's interesting because we knew kind of how this was all going to start. Even with the posters, we were getting a poster every day leading up to the release, and these posters were, themed in different decades. So I kind of thought this whole gimmick was going to last 5 or 6 episodes. And actually, in this episode, we'll probably get to it in a little bit, but there was for the first time ever, we jumped out of whatever this reality, I'm going to call it an event. There's an event happening, and this is the first time in this series that we actually got out of it. So the story is actually progressing further and faster than I expected it to. I thought we were going to be kept in the dark a lot longer, another 2 or 3 episodes. But Marvel, man, they got something cooking. They got something up their sleeve for them to start pulling back the curtain a little bit already in episode 3.
For sure, man. I mean, I did not expect that. So their big episode, you're saying, Elizabeth is saying that it's going to be this week. So that's a huge, like, wow, like that's pretty quick. But again, though, I mean, it could just be that one. Do y'all see it happening season 2? I mean, I know it's still too early, but Do you,
Like if there is a season 2, or
yeah, if there is a season 2.
so I think so. However, it's not gonna be our traditional. I mean, because according to the plan, this is supposed to set up events that start triggering Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, right? So at least that's on what the plan is on paper. To what we know, I think Kevin Feige had confirmed, like, you know, it's they were trying to make it to where WandaVision and Doctor Strange doesn't have that much time between each other. Of course, this is pre-pandemic stuff, right? But the idea was that the reason they wanted that is because it has been confirmed Wanda is going to be, or Elizabeth Olsen is going to be in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So I think that's going to prevent us. I think they're going to let that event play out before we get a season 2 of perhaps the continuation of Wanda and Vision's story. But I have to see the events unfold. But I could also foresee this being like a one and done. Like this was a single limited series storyline that was then setting up events that would translate over to the big screen. And then from there, if they decide, you know, Wanda and Vision fall into another movie or another round of a show or whatever, I think they could do that. I think that could be like the unique trait to this Marvel cinematic or you know, show version of their universe. That could be a unique treat. Like, hey, you know what? We're not going to do 6 seasons like normal shows do. We might do just a really big banger of a season and then just set up a movie. So, I mean, they could get creative with it. They could play. I just say, like, there's no clear rule, right, that they have to follow. And so I think we're just going to see something different from Marvel, and they're not gonna fall into like, okay, we're gonna commit 3 seasons. I think they're gonna commit, let's move the story forward and then see what's next, whether it's a movie or a show.
I think when they promoted these series for Marvel, they were all, at least for the Marvel side on Disney Plus, they were all promoted as limited run series. So I don't think anything is guaranteed. I don't think WandaVision's going to have a second season. I don't think Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to have a guaranteed second season. Loki, I mean, I don't think any of these are actually going to see a second season, just because we were told in the beginning, like, limited series. And guys like Loki, forget his character, Tom Hiddleston.
I'm totally against that series, by the way. Totally against it.
I think you're gonna change your tune when we see it.
Dude, I'm excited. That's probably
really.
It looks exciting. It looks extremely well written. Hang on,
Loki looks great. That trailer, man, has me hooked.
No,
and I'm sorry, Ted. I was just gonna say the only it's not a disagreement, but I think Loki is the one that's protected against that rule. Like, if they do decide to do limited series, because Loki is gonna deal with not only interdimensional travel, but time travel, and there's a time aspect to it, right? Based on what they've shown us and based on some of the stuff in the comic books. And it's not a spoiler, right? But, you know, I think if they are playing into those two things, interdimensional travel and time travel in itself, I think this show may be protected to where, hey, we can do multiple seasons, because, you know, we can do 3 seasons, and in the movie world, it's only been a year, right? Like, Loki could in itself be timeless in that essence. But who knows, right? We don't know the clear plan. At the same time, though, like, the quality of this movie style series could very well hold itself to where, hey, one and done, and the fans are satisfied, right?
Sure.
We could always see that.
I was just gonna say, guys like Tom Hiddleston, he's been in the MCU for a decade now. This year makes it 10 years that Tom Hiddleston's actually been a part of it, and it's not for a lack of artistic freedom or anything, but just some guys say, I've done all I can with the character. Robert Downey Jr., he has his perfect ending. He's done everything he can with the character, and sometimes you just have that closure, and you're not really ready or willing to come back just because you've experienced it and you've taken it as far as you can. Is 10 years with Hiddleston doing Loki enough? I think when you do this series, he probably starts thinking about it, however it ends. I'm not saying I'm going to pretend like I know how it ends, but 10 years is a long time with any character, with any franchise or anything. So eventually you just kind of say, I need to move on. And that might be the time for Hiddleston to do that. Let's get back to the WandaVision, though.
Yeah, but yeah, we should do a little bit. So we get into this pregnancy, and it's happening very rapidly. I would say. I mean, this looks like it happens like in one day.
It's legit
right. Like it's legit one day, and she gets pregnant like a whole day. The whole 9 months comes in one day. I mean, what if pregnancy was really like that? Oh God, that would be crazy. And then it's pretty unique to see that actually. I mean, of course, we know, like, I mean, if she's pregnant, obviously her kids have to have powers. So it's pretty crazy to see like her kids triggering, or the baby's triggering those powers whenever she was first, having those that pain and everything, and just going, actually feeling the baby kick and all that stuff, and actually seeing those powers come to life. It's kind of, and to know that she wasn't able to control them too. It was kind of, it was kind of strange to see that, and here's I know you talked about on your podcast, Ted, is that, I mean, are we into the realization that she is controlling this all? Can we? I mean, it kind of feels like, in a way, that she kind of is. It's like half. It's like giving us half. I know we've seen the person or somebody that's been watching it, obviously, and getting entertained by it. But I kind of feel like maybe half of it she wants to be in there.
We can talk about our theories now if you want to. If not, we can do whatever you like, man. If you want us to get into theories, I've been thinking about this nonstop, and I feel like I'm getting close. So I'm ready to talk about it if you want to. You want to do this?
Well, let's just skip to the end. So the end is we can do that. We see the I forgot the lady's name, but she says, your brother was killed by Ultron, and
Geraldine.
Okay, Geraldine. Yeah. So she says, your brother was killed. Yeah, your brother was killed by Ultron, and then she's just like, "What did you say?" And then it kind of, I don't know. I kind of feel like they're giving a little hints that they're able to actually use mutants now, and I feel like they're gonna maybe hit that note eventually. I feel like with this series, we're gonna hear the word mutant. I feel like it, and I'm digging the hell out of this sucker, man. Like I can't wait to hear that word. Just hearing that word's gonna bring, it's gonna be a huge hit, man. Like just
we're all gonna be that Leonardo DiCaprio meme. We're just pointing at the TV like, oh, they did
it. Yeah. I mean,
they did the thing.
Yeah, and to see her, of course. We also saw Vision interact with the other two cast members as well.
Yeah, her.
And they were. Yeah, they were acting so strange, very strange, hiding something obviously, and it was so. I don't know. That was the only thing I kind of didn't like about it. I was like, Vision, come on, bro. Like you don't know. Like come on. It's like so obvious that they're hiding something. It's just like come on.
I don't think they are. I don't think they are. This is a very unique show, a very uniquely written show, in that we know from the very beginning. Nothing is either real or nothing is as it seems, right? Name another show where you think that from the first second. I can't think of one right now, but I talked about it on our live show we did yesterday, on the Countdown to the Geekcast show with JC, your Island of Reality buddy.
Yeah.
And in my head, I kind of am pulling from inspirations from other comic book storylines, actually 2 animated storylines. I talked about one of them being from the Batman animated series. One of my favorite episodes came out probably the year that Ryan was born, 1992. There was an episode titled Perchance to Dream. It was a 26th episode of the Batman animated series. And in that episode, Bruce wakes up and he's in this alternate life. He's got Selena Kyle as a wife.
Mhm.
His parents are alive. You know, from minute one, something is not right.
Yeah.
And you start, trying to figure out, and clues start dropping left and right. In the end, we find out Mad Hatter has in this coma, and everything he was going through was just a dream. But WandaVision feels like that to me. It feels like it's it's a dream type state.
Mhm.
Even
Yeah.
the fact that time does not exist. Things happen
Yeah.
either too quick, things happen too slow. Vision has a speed power now that we've never known before or don't really
Yeah.
see in the comics. And we get these trippy commercials that we've talked about, the Strucker watch, the toaster made by Stark Industries,
Mhm.
all these weird things that are going on, and everything kind of feels like a dream to me.
Yeah.
So when you ask, is Wanda controlling everything? If I'm kind of going off that animated series Batman, I'm thinking this is her dream, that she's in
Yeah.
it, but she's not aware of it. And just like anybody who's lucid dreaming, the things that you kind of expect to happen while you're lucid dreaming or just dreaming in general
Mhm.
tend to go awry or tend to go the way you want them to. Just like we got this swan or the stork in this episode, and the whole time she's trying to like not get Geraldine to see it, but
Yeah.
things keep getting worse and worse and worse. I think that Wanda's having this dream, but she's stuck in it. And
Yeah.
she's able to, of course, use her powers to a certain extent. But even when she's going through the labor and the house is going all haywire
Yeah.
and her water breaks, so it starts flooding in the house, and the neighbors complain about it as well. Just like in a dream, there's some things you just can't control.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm leaning with all this.
Yeah.
Now, I say she's dreaming, but I don't think she's aware of it. Not at
See,
all.
and that's the thing. I kind of feel like that I kind of feel like she's put herself in this position because she doesn't want to come to a realization that, I mean, obviously Vision's dead, but here's the thing. I kind of feel like she doesn't want to go into reality. She's created. I kind of feel like she's half. Again, I'm just saying, half. I don't know why, but it's just I feel like she's half created this world, and someone has helped her create this world, and that's the thing too. We also see Tommy and Billy, her kids. I mean, that in the comics, those are real people.
Yeah.
In the comics, as long as she is in her mind, those are real. So it's weird how that works, right? So I actually looked it up. As long as she believes that they are real, they're real
Mhm.
in the comics. Again, they could totally change it up here, but in the comics, they're real as long as she thinks it's real.
You're not wrong. I think
Yeah.
the rules that the show is trying to establish, we're not privy to yet.
Yeah.
Geraldine, aka Monica Rambeau, gets thrown out of what I'm calling the event, or on our show I called it the bubble. She
I
gets
call
thrown
it
out of this
the
she gets thrown out of this bubble, and she's still rocking the afro. She still got on her 70s attire. Either she went in looking like that, or she came out looking like that. And
I think she's real. I mean,
I think
well,
everybody actually, the
Yeah.
neighbors
really.
specifically, I think the neighbors are real.
So you think the
Westview,
neighbors are real? You think all those people are
I think so as well. I think they're scripted though. The neighbors are
So you're talking
scripted.
about Truman? You're talking about the Truman Show?
I think so. I think that's what's happening actually. Yeah, no,
Okay.
there's signs, there's things that point towards something. uh, it's a mix of multiple things, right? Because like when the show is in black and white,
Mhm.
people are not painting themselves, to be in a black and white environment, right? There's distortion of reality happening. True to the powers that perhaps Wanda is creating, or perhaps it could be a combination of powers between what Wanda has and perhaps residue from the Mind Stone. Maybe I don't know, but what I know is that these are all real people, or at least the speculation is that they're all real people, including Monica. However, in this episode, when the neighbors were acting weird, or what I think is like going off of script, having like their own side dialogues and not acting like all happy dandy, like
Yeah.
I think it's going off script, kind of behind the scenes. They're talking amongst each other. They don't trust Geraldine. It almost seems like they don't know if she's supposed to be there or not, right? So like whatever this environment is, if people are scripted, perhaps it's to the point where you just, people come in, people are introduced into this show,
Yes.
to serve a story and to kind of stir Wanda to certain journeys or whatever, keeping them in check, I would say. And they were stating that she has no home, and trying to tell Vision to be worried or something like that, right? So I don't know exactly how it all works, but like Ted said, right, like when we see her thrown out of this bubble, she's wearing the attire, she's going through this process, right? So I think there's an element of some scripted, but at the same time numbness, I could say, like, because there are times where it feels like these neighbors snap out of it for a moment, and then they come back to it, right? So perhaps they could be vessels, they could be scripted vessels that perhaps they don't know exactly what's going on. But a couple things I wanted to mention was
I called it the Get Out situation, by the way.
Get Out, yeah, pretty much. But I think whatever state Wanda and Vision are in, they weren't. I don't think they're aware that they were put into that state, but I don't think it was them putting themselves in that state. But I think that this world that people have set up for Wanda to fantasize, Wanda is enjoying it, and she has some level of control to kind of stop from breaking out of this world, right? Because we've seen a couple things already, right? Like in the previous episode, we saw a whole thing where Wanda was like, no, and the show actually rewinded. And in this episode, we actually had a glitch, what seemed like a playback glitch, where the footage cut almost like the scene itself split.
Yes.
And then we were only a few seconds behind that scene. I genuinely thought it was an issue with my TV for a moment. Right? That's the kind of the illusion that they created. But it was also Wanda. Wanda triggered something like that, right? So perhaps once again, she's very numb to this world that she's in. And at the moment that she starts hearing things that call her back to the real world or trying to take her out of that, she's like, I like this. I like this. Because out there, Vision's dead, or out there, I don't have what I have here. So
exactly.
I think if what I'm saying is true, someone has to be benefiting from Wanda being in this state, whether it's perhaps like extracting power. I don't know. Something, Wanda may be generating something that people want from her, want to extract, right? So
could she be testing her abilities with sword helping her? I mean, is there a possibility? I mean, of course we could throw theories out and everything. I don't know. I kind of feel like, I mean, sword has to be somewhat involved, whether they're getting
Hydra for sure too. Hydra and sword, they both have to be in it. And I'm sorry to interrupt, but like, I honestly, like, I don't know. Like, I know they've planted seeds for Hydra and they've planted seeds for sword, but I honestly don't know what side sword is in. Like, it's kind of hard to pinpoint, right? Because
the last time we saw him was, of course, Captain Marvel.
Yeah, and it was very
quick. Yeah, it was it wasn't really. I mean, obviously, Samuel Jackson gave Nick Fury gave the hint. This is the new Shield, pretty much.
New organization,
the new better Shield. That's not Hydra, but yeah.
Well, one last thing I wanted to throw out there was, based on some of the comic books that people speculate this could be related to, especially seeing that we see the twins and things like that. One of the comic books, and I'm not familiar with the issue or things like that, so I apologize about that. But I know that in some of these stories involving the twins, Mephisto has been involved.
I've been hearing. Yeah.
Who is typically known to be a Ghost Rider villain, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if he's particularly a foe of Scarlet Witch, besides the times they've interacted with one another. And once again, I apologize if anything I say is incorrect, but though, if the MCU in particular was to tackle a character like Mephisto, right, a devilish character, right, I don't think they'll approach it from a religion standpoint. I don't think they'll truly call him a devil or demon or things like that. They could perhaps refer to it as, another dimension entity, right, if they were to tackle it that.
I mean, it is a demon, and it's actually Silver Surfer's enemy.
Oh, he's directly okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, but what I was saying is, I think Disney's very particular about getting involved into the actual labeling of demon and things like that.
You can't.
I know that.
Mickey.
I know that because on the show Hellstrom, which is not tied to the MCU, but it's about demons and exorcisms. I know that to press members, they weren't gonna let them say those words. They weren't going to let them say the word the devil or exorcism or things like that. So I think if they tackle Mephisto, it'll be kind of like an entity, right? Otherworldly or whatever. And though I wouldn't think they would even involve him at all, there's clues that make me think that he is involved. In the first episode, Agnes, one of the neighbors, there was a mention of like the devil's in the details, which is a popular saying. And she responded with, "That's not the only place he's in." And that piqued my interest, but I was like, well, I don't know. And then I'm starting to notice, for example, in the scene with Geraldine, where her necklace, she's wearing a sword symbol, right?
Yes, the upside down. The sword. Yeah,
the sword symbol, and it looks like a cross.
See, I was okay. That's the first thing I thought. I was all like, "Am I watching is it turning into The Conjuring, or what the hell? What the hell is it going on? Like, are we gonna see a demon in here? Like, I thought it was an upside down cross. That's what I thought.
Looks like it was a sword, but the imagery, the reason. I mean, I know the official sword logo, it's meant to be upside down, but the way she was wearing it on a necklace, and it had like a circular frame and things like, I don't know. There's some imagery in here, and once again, people seem to be in this trance, and something's going on, right? And just little details. And I saw this thrown around, right? Like, I started coming into this cues by myself, but then someone made mention that, hey, we've never seen Agnes's husband, Ralph, who they mentioned all the time. And she's dropped little lines like, "Oh, my husband Ralph works better in the dark," or something like that. So it's little clues like that. It's kind of like
symbolic. Something there. You're saying like all that dialogue is actually gonna, it's little hints here and there.
It's a little out there. Out there. I don't know. I think
we're where you're going.
We're looking at a puzzle, and we just still don't know how everything fits, right? So this could be just shots in the dark. Maybe it means nothing. Maybe it's just Easter eggs, but I don't know. I don't know.
I was going to say that Marvel is great at dropping clues, but also throwing in misdirection. And you have to commit as an audience, as a viewer, you have to commit to what has purpose and what doesn't. In episode 3, when we see Agnes and her kind of whispering, talking about Geraldine, and they're trying to, keep the secret from Vision. I think all of this is great misdirection. The voice on the radio, "Who's doing this to you, Wanda? Who's doing this?" Again, misdirection. I think in the end, we find out that Wanda is trapped almost herself in creating this reality based on her own dreams. I'm gonna go out on a limb and kind of give my theory, which is also based on another story that I'm familiar with. one of the best animated TV shows ever is Young Justice. The first season, they had an episode called Failsafe. And Ryan hasn't watched
Young
Young
Justice.
Justice,
Oh my
he doesn't
god.
like it, but
I don't look. It's okay.
Young
It's not
Justice
my favorite DC.
is one of the
Yeah.
best written animated TV
Whoa,
shows
whoa, okay,
ever.
whoa, okay. Hold the
Let me get the
phone.
theory. Let me get the
Hold
theory
the
first.
phone.
Theory first. Um, in the episode titled Failsafe, we actually are dealing and focusing around the character Miss Martian, who is a niece of John Jones, aka Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
Miss Martian is a very strong, powerful character. And they go through in the entire episode. I'm gonna try and summarize this quickly. In the entire episode,
Don't tell me the whole episode.
they go through losing the the Justice League and having to bring the Young Justice team together to try and save the world. Well, they fail. Everybody fails. Everybody dies. In the very end, we find out Miss Martian actually had a mental breakdown, and she was actually putting all of these thoughts, these like dark thoughts, into everybody's sort of mind, and they were all experiencing it, but they were all trapped, and none of them could get out because they're not understanding all of this is just happening within their minds. She's that powerful to control and have everybody feel something, see something. I think something happened to Wanda. Either she's working with Sword somewhere, or they're doing something, and even in a battle or something happens to her where she's sort of incapacitated. Somebody, some big shot. It's got to be somebody powerful. I don't know who it is. I think somebody took a swing at her, and she's incapacitated, or a blast of something happened, maybe an explosion, and she's now in a dream state, and she's that powerful to where she can sort of create this bubble, and everybody in the vicinity of where she was, let's just say it is this Westview neighborhood, because I think Westview is a real place. Either these people, these neighbors, are real neighbors who lived in this little neighborhood, and now they're all trapped in this dream that they weren't trying to get into, or they're all agents of Sword, because Agnes looks at the mailman and says, "Stick them up." I think that's one of those things where you need to pay attention, and they could all just be agents, and they're all trapped. I think once you're in the bubble, you lose your identity. You don't know who you are anymore, and now you're just a character in Wanda's dream. Geraldine, it takes sort of something to jar her memory for her just to come out and say, "You used to be a twin," or I'm sorry, Wanda said she was a twin, and Geraldine says, "Oh, your brother. He was killed by Ultron, right?" And so something like that. It takes a lot for somebody trapped in the bubble outside of Wanda to kind of get their memories back. I said it's like a Get Out situation. And Get Out, your subconscious knew you were trapped, but your thoughts and your actions and your movements were actually being controlled by someone else. So I think that's the situation we're getting into. I think there is a villain because it's a long season, and we have to have an antagonist to go up against, or else it's not a Marvel property.
You believe that she's trapped?
I think Wanda doesn't know she's dreaming. And everything feels like a dream. Everything's playing out like Inception, where time doesn't have any value here. There's, all these things happening either super fast. Nothing makes any sort of sense. And I don't know what Vision is, though. I don't know if he's alive. I don't know if he's just a manifestation of Wanda's dreams. But I think all the neighbors are definitely not aware. I don't think they're actually pretending to be people. I think that deep down, if you're in a neighborhood like mine, you have paranoid neighbors who are like, "I heard a sound outside. What was that?" And they're all on Facebook like, "Anybody hear that outside?" I think you start playing. They're not playing. They do think they are these characters, but they're playing it out like they're these paranoid, nosy neighbors. The one thing that I can't answer, because my theory, I'm trying to cover every Every
Yeah.
angle, right? The one thing I can't figure out is why the sitcom. Why is it playing
Oh,
out like
yeah.
entertainment? And I do think it's for the benefit of someone. Somebody is enjoying this. I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
And I will say, like Lex said, I think Ralph holds some value, some purpose to be
Yeah.
named so much, so often. But I think everything else is misdirection. The
Okay.
voice on the radio,
Hmm.
um, kind of everything that we're seeing is just misdirection. I think the commercials are actually memories of Wanda's. I think the toaster was one of the things that tripped me out because the flashing red light, it sounded like a detonator. It sounded like something was about to happen at the end,
Hmm.
like a bomb. It could
Yeah.
be Stark's bomb that should have killed her and her brother when they were younger, but never did.
Yeah.
And then Strucker, we know what Strucker's ties to Wanda are. The
Yeah.
Hydra soap, you could just Hydra's, very a big huge component of her life. I
Mhm.
think those things are memories that are taking place in this dream. I think having twins, I don't think they're real babies. I think having twins is just her knowing she is a twin and
Yeah.
it's playing out in a dream.
I want to go very deeper than your theory. I want to go very emotionally deep. I feel like she's in denial of the saw vision. I feel like she created this world purposely to really be stuck in here to where like she can't live reality without the love of her life. I feel like I'm gonna go way deeper than I feel like the children are real. I feel like this is the life that she actually wanted, but she knew she could never have. I feel like that she's tapping into her power that now that Lex mentioned that demon, it kind of makes sense if that we want to go that route. That like I kind of feel like she's tapping into a power she never knew she had, and that this villain comes in and obviously mixes up things, changes things around, and starts tapping in and starts messing with her mind. Um, I don't know. I just feel like it's deeper than that, man. I feel like it's all.
Hey, that's pretty deep, bro.
I feel like she's in denial. I mean, once you lose the love of your life, we saw her reaction. We saw the way she reacted right before going out in Infinity War, the very end, and that's the thing too. I am gonna agree though that I believe they are memories as far as the commercials. I think you're right, spot on that. But I feel like she's purposely doing this. I don't think, and that's the thing too, because in the comics, I mean, she does it on. I mean, it's on purpose. I mean, because she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to face reality. It's almost to a sense to where like if you face reality, your love of your life is gone. Vision's gone. But how is Vision there? Yeah, I mean, I know Lex had
that one. Yeah, that one I can't crack either. Like I told Ryan, like when analyzing episode 1, like I think Vision could be part of the fabrication, but then on second one, just seeing like the way he acts and the way he's also snapping in and out of things and trying to like figure some things are off.
Yeah,
those seem like his own emotions, his own like he gets those moments even when Wanda's not around. So it makes me think he's his own person. But
I think he's realizing that he's not alive. Like I kind of feel like in this episode we got like he's like, oh wait, am I even alive? Like it's almost to a sense to where like that. And then also the Brady, all this theme stuff, this sitcom stuff. I kind of feel like maybe she saw this as a kid. Maybe that's why, because it's going to her subconsciousness to where like she doesn't know she doesn't have any happiness. Really, let's be honest. I mean, let's go darker here. Let's go emotional. Let's go child life. She doesn't have any happiness. The bomb blew up when she was a kid, right? Or like,
She lost her parents.
Exactly. So she's had a horrible childhood life, and to know that she actually, maybe she saw this, and that was the only happiness she got in her child life of watching the Brady Bunch and Bewitched. So maybe there's subconsciously she's doing this because that's the only happiness she's really had, plus Vision. Like, let's be honest here. I mean, we see her struggle just to become the hero in Civil War. I mean, just we see her really. I feel like it's that deep. I want it to be that deep. If it's not that deep, I'm gonna be pissed off because they really could capitalize on something that we could go very, very emotional and I know it's something very different, very, very different from what Marvel fans are used to. Very different because we're hitting into like DC era, right? We're hitting into DC stuff where it's too emotional and it's too dark, and it's just it has that upscale, man. They could really do something here.
Yeah, I like it. The only thing with Vision that we don't have a lot of evidence, but anytime Vision's doing something that Wanda wouldn't want him to do, she either rewinds it or kind of what we got in the last episode on Friday.
Yeah.
It was just this weird jump cut that kind of rewound the scene a little bit.
And I think she's doing that purposely because she's all like, he's back or something.
I agree. That's why, like, I don't know what Vision is, but I'm leaning towards it's not really him, and it could be just this manifestation of it. I mean, when we dream ourselves, every person that we dream about, it's what we're thinking about that they're saying. It's what we think they would act like is what they're doing. I think this is just, again, Wanda creating this bubble, this event. Sword can see it, and anytime somebody tries to enter it, I think they're losing who they are. I don't think they understand it completely yet. And
obviously we're going to see them progress more, obviously, in the coming episodes.
Well, if we believe Elizabeth Olsen, like, I think half of the mystery will be solved this Friday.
Yeah, kudos to her, man. She is a way better actress than her sisters. Oh my god! Like, dude, like, let's be honest here.
She's killer.
I mean, she's like, wow. Like, I can't wait to see her in more stuff, not just Marvel stuff, but to see her as an actress. I want to see her in an Oscar film. I want to see her really. I mean, we've seen like this whole show so far. I've just different emotions real quick, like. Boom, facial expressions are real quick. I love that about actors and actresses when you could change your emotions so quickly and just change the tone of the whole show / movie or whatever the scene may be. It's just you switch that tone on point real quick. It doesn't feel rushed, doesn't feel just smooth out. Wow, that's just phenomenal. I love that. And to both of them, I mean, they really are. And they said it so many times in the interviews, like they enjoyed this show. They enjoyed doing this. Show.
It's so versatile. They're asking these two characters to do a lot. Number one, it's focused on them like 95% of the time. There's not a whole lot of other people we're dealing with, and they're asked to do everything from comedy.
Yeah,
they're asked to have these really big emotional scenes like we got in this last episode. So kudos to them. They are killing everything they're being asked to do, even as cheesy as it is, even as corny as it's written, they are hitting it every single time.
I agree.
For sure. Looks like let's go to comments real quick. David says, I agree with Steady on all the stuff that you were saying. As far as I think this was the beginning though. This was like 15 minutes ago. I was trying to keep up with it. I was all like, oh man, let me see here. Yeah, the dome. David says the dome. That's what he's calling it.
Dome, the bubble. Yeah,
David
call it whatever.
Are sword agents. Okay, all right. That's what he's speculating.
The only thing against that is that Geraldine seems to be a sword agent herself,
right?
And they were treating her like an outsider.
That's right. They were talking crap. They were gossiping about her. I forgot about that. Yes, you're right.
I don't know.
You got to fit it into your theory. And my theory is once you're in the bubble, you don't know who you are anymore.
Yeah.
And you just, that's why I'm trying to figure out something that covers all the angles.
You're right. I mean, where I agree with what you mentioned is that I remember, and that's why like some episodes just contradict each other. But I remember when Geraldine first popped up and Wanda asked her for her name, she took a minute, but not a minute hiding it, but a minute thinking it. And so that's why like I'm trying to still also cover everything, but some things are not clicking yet. And that's why like I think we're missing a piece of the puzzle that can make it make sense. And I also trust that like the Marvel writers are way trickier than I am. So like I'm sure I'm gonna get some things wrong for sure.
Mm-hmm. For sure, yeah. It says Lex is right on. Oh, right on. It was on your theory. It was on your theory on Meta.
With the Mephisto thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was on your Mephisto. Yeah, David says, yeah, I think Lex has just said exactly what's going on. Okay, all right.
Everybody's right.
Find out. We're about to find out. No, just kidding. I think like Ted said, next episode's probably gonna be a big one. I still think we're not gonna truly see the whole picture up until about to like the last 3 episodes. I think. But I think just the fact that they finally shown us there is a bubble that people can exit, and that looks like the greedy real world. I think next week they start either breaking it down. To my understanding, based on the trailers, though, I think there's only 1 or 2 more decades to go. We haven't seen the Halloween episode yet.
Yes.
So I'm assuming that's probably what's coming up next. But then from the trailers, I'm trying to remember what other decade they touched up on.
The 80s, 90s, 2000s.
You're right. Yeah, we're missing the. Did they show all of them though? Because I remember seeing outfits for 80s and then
90s
I don't know
for sure. Yeah.
Does
The
that
90s, the 90s one is where I think Wanda looks like she's on the set of Roseanne.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys remember Roseanne because you
Yeah,
guys are
Roseanne.
kids.
Oh, whatever. Do you get
But
out of here?
I know
It
of
looks
it.
like the set of Roseanne. I think that's our 90s, and then
Yeah.
I'm actually not just going off what they're wearing, but I'm also going off sort of the definition of the picture, and it looks like there's either the Halloween episode or something where it looks like they're in 1080 high definition. We don't get that until the 2000s, so I'm thinking there's still a 2000s era.
4K. I mean, Dolby Vision, and then 8K now. There's 8K now.
No, you're right. I remember that picture looking clearer, so that's likely going to be unless they do like a 2-in-1, right, where the transition happens so much sooner than we think.
Could
perhaps
be.
Because Wanda is losing control or something.
Yeah.
But if you think about that, let's say they do dedicate 2 more decades to 2 more episodes. That'll be episode 4, episode 5, and then we have 4 episodes of who knows what, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's every possibility here when it comes to a show like this, especially the way they're going. David says Halloween should be the next episode. That's what he's saying. He's speculating. David Lozano. And then, of course, now he's 20. Oh, he says 2000s will be The Office.
That would be pretty dope.
Yeah. I don't know about
I saw one of his comments as well saying that he believes that the twins are real as well. Yes. I personally think they're real. I think they're real too, because I feel like perhaps remember I said that someone must be benefiting from this state that Wanda is in, whether it's to extract power or to prevent her getting in between an evil plan or whatever it may be. But when we're looking at the extracting power, perhaps this event was created so that the conditions are prime for her to have the twins, and perhaps the twins have power that can be extracted. It's something, I don't know. But if the twins are real, she's not asexual, so then Vision has to be alive.
But
obviously
I don't think what can Vision do? Vision really can't conceive. He's cybernetic.
So let's be okay. If the twins are real, if they're going based off that comic, the twins were subconscious. I mean, she has to really believe that they're real. So therefore, what's to say that she doesn't believe that with Vision, that she brings Vision? Because obviously we saw power that we never seen before. Move fast. Yeah. Obviously, he's Flash in a sense. Like where has this? I kind of feel like she could bring back Vision to life in a sense to where, like, I mean, maybe subconsciously, maybe it's not really him. Maybe it's just like, again, just a part of him. Maybe obviously not the full Vision, the one obviously because he died. But I feel like I feel like it's going to lead up to that. Obviously, I also feel like this has nothing to do with the stones. Obviously,
Vision was created by Vision had the Mind Stone. The Mind Stone creating.
She gets her powers from the Mind Stone.
It has everything to do with the Mind Stone.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry, but
I get you. I feel
like they're going to lean towards mutants, and they're going to call. I don't know. I kind of feel like they're going to bring Quicksilver back. I don't know. They want to really push the buttons and push the upscale, like I kind of feel like Wanda's gonna talk to her brother. I kind of feel like this is gonna happen. Like I could see that happening. I could, again, this is totally theory, totally stretched theory out there. I half believe it, but I could see her talking to her brother. I mean,
I think if we go off like your idea that this is her unable to deal with all the trauma in her life, I think giving her back Vision and giving her back her brother are cop outs. And so you don't have a character arc with someone trying to overcome the loss by giving her back everything that she lost. I think that'd be too
I agree.
too easy. So it
Yeah.
has to be either her overcoming that loss. Another reason why I think Vision had that speed power is because, like I mentioned, I think these are memories of her and her brother growing up or something, being twins. And so that's why Vision runs fast. We've never seen him do that before. These are just elements that are, crossing over and influencing her dreams.
Yeah. Let me see here. David says in the comics, the twins were created with parts of the soul of Mephisto. Oh, okay.
Mephisto,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. And then also says Vision also died and resurrected in the comics. Okay. All right. I think Quicksilver will be in the next episode or one after. Okay. So see, I mean, I'm not the only one with that theory. I kind of feel like it's going to come to that. But I mean, I agree with you though, Ted, as well. Like, I don't know. It just, we have so many theories and everything. And that's the good thing about this show, is it's making us think about these theories, It just, that's how great the show this is. And I know I'm saying that of a Marvel show. And I'm just like, wow. Like, I mean, dude, yeah, I'm excited for this.
It's good.
Yeah. David says, the only show with the media, the first 3 episodes, episode 4 contains a big spoiler potentially. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we could, I'm hoping it's long. Like, I want it to be like 45 minutes, like I want the next, but again, it's probably not. I kind of feel like it's probably like 35, maybe 40 minutes.
I mean, if they're going all in on sitcoms are only 30 minutes.
Yeah, 25 to 30 minutes.
If it changes turns, if it starts becoming like a drama, it goes so much drama. Boom.
Well, I think
we still got 80s, we still got 90s. I mean,
there you go.
That's gonna happen.
Yeah,
so
I think perhaps
they're gonna stick to the 30-minute time frame.
Yeah, I think perhaps once they break away from the sitcom, like we're back in reality, then it would kind of just be I don't want to say poetic, but it would just kind of fall in place with the storytelling if an episode was to be longer. But yeah, I agree with Ted. As long as these episodes are still within the format of a sitcom television, they're going to be short. But I still think the episodes are being very effective in the time that they have, in making us more confused, but also answering questions at the same time.
Gotcha. No, yeah, for sure, man. I mean, it's, again, we could go on the upscale and just, I mean, we all got 3 different theories. Hopefully one of us has to be right. I mean, come on. If all of us
at least
wrong,
part of all of our theories have to be right. At least part
if
of
all of us are wrong, that's gonna be some booty. Like, it's just, everything's fake. It's like what was it? Iron Man 3. Oh my god. The
Mandarin.
Mandarin, it's all fake. Everything's just a fake. Let's just everyone's wrong. But yeah, I mean, I hope it doesn't come to that. But I mean, we'll see what happens coming episode. Yeah, man. Hopefully y'all guys could be on the show again, because I know we talked a lot of good stuff here, a lot of goodies here. Any final thoughts, guys? And then we'll go to the ratings real quick. Ratings 1 out of 10, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. Any Ted, your final thoughts on this episode 3, man?
Episode 3 was epic. You saw a wide range of acting by Elizabeth Olsen, and I am all about the mystery. I'm all about not knowing what's going on. I like overthinking everything. I like trying to get into the heads of Marvel writers, because when they crack the code and they come out with something that's both complex but yet seems easy to follow, that's what I love about the writers that they hire.
Mm-hmm.
The writer for this, I believe, is also writing Captain Marvel 2, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. But I am excited for what's coming. I'm gonna stick to my theory because it's the only thing for me that makes sense. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking about all the movies and shows I've watched where dreams are the focus. Vanilla Sky featuring Tom Cruise, stuff
Mhm.
like that. You get out of the dream when the nightmare becomes too much, and I think that's what eventually will get Wanda to understand she's controlling everything and she's trapping everybody in this dream that's taken on a physical form.
Or it's Freddy Cougar. No, I'm just kidding.
Anyway,
be
I give it a 9 if we're
a
doing
9. Oh
ratings.
wow!
Yeah, I give it a
Hey,
9.
okay, all right, Lex. What is final thoughts, man, and your rating at the very end, brother?
I think I'm gonna give it an 8,
Okay.
just because a lot happened. A lot happened on this episode. The first two, there was like a specific journey, a sitcom related journey, right? Like, oh, like, there's a magic show in town, and the first one, my boss is coming to dinner. This one
Mhm.
about the pregnancy is one specific mini adventure that ties with the comics, that makes you think. And they name dropped Ultron, they name dropped Pietro, like all these things. I think once again it's getting juicier and juicier, and I think that deserved an 8.
Yeah.
Aside from the execution, right, the episode was well executed, and I think overall that's why I feel like this is a solid 8.
Yeah. Good job. Good job on that word choice, brother. I like that word. I use that word choice on reality TV, juicy, on my reality
Oh,
podcast.
juicy.
Very juicy. I love it. I love that word. Good terminology right there. Yeah, man. I just, I love these first 2 episodes. The third one really shifted things here. Obviously, we got a little hints. Once again, you guys, both of y'all said it. I mean, we're getting hints into where is this going. And I feel like I'm going to give it a solid 8, guys. Solid 8. I want it to, again, I know I said it, I want it to be really deep like that. I really do. I want to see that emotional aspect. But at the same time, I have to still remember who's making this, and which is Disney. They make people cry on Pixar films. Why can't they make people cry in Marvel movies? Obviously we saw that in Endgame. So, it's just, why can't they make people cry in this, in this emotional aspect? But again, you're touching up on something that's grief and all those mixed emotions and everything. And just, I feel like that's like the scale that I want them to really touch up on. I want to see Quicksilver back. I want to see, the kids.
This is Marvel's wheelhouse, man. We lost Peter Parker in Infinity War, and there wasn't a dry eye in the house. So
yeah,
this is what they're good at, getting you emotionally invested for the ride that's to come.
For sure, man. I'm excited to see episode 4. I know we all are. But yeah, man. All right. So I'm gonna give a solid 8, guys. Ted, where can people find you at, brother?
We are doing live shows every Monday night, 10 p.m. Central, on the Countdown to the Geekcast Facebook page. We also do a weekly wrestle show on YouTube. We're actually we're not streaming. We're doing a watch party for the Royal Rumble this Sunday on YouTube. So find us on YouTube at Countdown City Geeks.
Yeah.
And of course, you can just find our podcast everywhere you can find a podcast at Countdown to the Geekcast.
Yeah, man. Lex, where can people find you at, brother?
Yeah, so I'm a co-host over at Not in Theaters. It's available everywhere: Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We have Google Play, and I think Stitcher as well. And so we have a back catalog of a lot of episodes, interesting stories and theories as to what if, right? Like what if scenario with this movie. And then also, for any gamers or anything like that around, I do have a Twitch channel. It is the Lex Level. And I try to Twitch at least once every week, and little by little I'll start getting a schedule put together. But for, once again, any gamers, anyone that wants to hop on, chat, have a little bit of fun, feel free to follow me and check me out.
Yeah, guys, thank you once again, guys, for being on the show. Hopefully y'all got excited talking about these theories as much as I did. I know we had a blast here. I could tell by y'all's facial expressions, because everyone's just, it was a lot of good theories out there. We could not stop talking here, and we went a little over an hour, man. That's crazy. That's kind of That's kind of pushing it here, Ted. I know you do it a lot more over there, but I'm kidding.
Yeah.
1 hour is light work, baby.
I know, brother. I know. I hear. I see y'all stuff. It's just like, wow. But that's
once you start, you can't stop. Yeah,
I know exactly, and that's the beauty of it, guys. All right, if you have not already, be sure to hit that subscribe button on YouTube, guys. Alamo City Movie Talk, and be sure to like us on Facebook. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube once again. And thank you for making us a part of your day. As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. Akinola Ryan 680. Ted.
I'm steady with the countdown to the Geekcast. Have a good night.
And this is, I was going to say Ted. And this is Ted number 2. And this is Lex. And thank you once again, guys, for having us here, tuning in, commenting. It's always a pleasure to be here.
David, I know I've seen your comments, brother. I know you want to be on the show, man. Look out for my invite. I know we were supposed to get you for The Mandalorian, but we actually skipped on the last episode, sad face. Yeah, we didn't get we didn't get to do a review on it. Holidays happen and everything and mishaps or whatever, but I'll get you on the show, brother. I see your comments. I'm not ignoring them. I see them, brother. We will get you on the show. I promise. All right. Stay tuned.